Nobody is born smart or dumb, but over the years, you develop a growth mentality which helps you to acquire skills, understand how things work, and connect some dots. You become smarter each day. Actually, in fact, we're developing a brand new series on how to get smarter every day. But with your newly acquired brain power comes problems that only smart people have. In this video, we'll be going over some of these problems, which so many people just don't have to bother with. Welcome to Alux. Number 1. Dealing with instant gratification. If you're smart, you understand that instant gratification is one of the most harmful addictions you can have. It'll hold you back from doing anything worth mentioning. Most people, they can't help themselves and they fall into a loop of instant gratification. They'll gladly jump from video to video, story to story, scroll after scroll, and cookie after cookie. But if you're smart, you know these things are hurting you, but you also know that they feel good. You need some instant gratification from time to time to give you an extra boost, but how you deal with it is the problem. You have to really be careful when navigating the instant gratification game. A little can give you some motivation, but a little more and your morning is ruined. Not so smart people, they don't really understand how instant gratification works, nor do they have any problem falling into the same trap over and over again. Number 2. How to battle your ego. Being aware of your ego and handling it requires a certain degree of emotional intelligence most people just don't have. They let their ego take control of their whole life. They feel superior to everyone else. They constantly compare themselves to others, and they'll do anything to look good. But your ego doesn't let you grow, or apologize, or see other perspectives. It wants you to be safe in your own comfortable bubble where you're never wrong. Some say egotism is the anesthetic that dulls the pain of stupidity. Battling your ego is one of the hardest battles a smart person has to endure. You're essentially battling yourself, and you need to be comfortable losing in order to win. Number 3. When to be ignorant. Now, being ignorant is usually seen as a bad thing, if by ignorant you mean being a dick. In the true sense of the word, everybody in the world is ignorant because you can't know everything about everything. But if you're smart, you have a different problem. You need to decide when to be ignorant. You see, never in history were there so many things happening at the same time as they do this very second. And on top of that, you can watch it happening in real time from a device in your pocket. You'd think that the more choices you have, then the more options you can pick from. But that leads to brain overload. This is also known as the paradox of choice. You have so many options to pick, so you end up not choosing anything. If you're smart, you need to be selectively ignorant. You need to have the power to say, you know what? I don't need to know about that. A real-life example of this is Seth Godin, who decided he doesn't need to know what people think of his books. He actually stopped reading reviews and felt a lot better that way. And many entrepreneurs, they decide they don't need to know what's on TV. If there's something important they need to know, the information will eventually come to them. Number 4. How to challenge yourself creatively. We believe the world is split up into two kinds of people, consumers and creators. And if you're a smart person, you have a constant need to create. Not only that, but you need to constantly challenge yourself in order to feel like you're growing, a problem that most people don't really care about. But if you're smart, you can't stand to watch time pass over you without doing something. You're in a constant search to express your creativity, and you feel empty without it. Number 5. Giving up control. Most people will gladly let others do the work for them, but if you're smart, it's really hard to see your work being mistreated by someone else. You've learned how to do it properly, you've put in the hours, you've acquired expertise, and to see someone else come in and not do things your way is almost infuriating. You'd rather work overtime than give up control over your work. No one can live up to your standards, and this leads us to the next problem. Number 6, high expectations. If you're smart, you understand how things work. You can connect the dots, see the full picture, and expect a specific outcome. But the problem is, you expect that to happen every time from every person. You set up high expectations for everything because if it works out that way in your head, why wouldn't it work out the same in real life? Number 7, you're afraid to look stupid. If you're genuinely stupid, nothing can hurt you. But if you're smart, you're aware of the possibility of being stupid, and that scares you. That can leave you overthinking the simple things and questioning yourself constantly. Have you really thought of everything? Have you checked all the angles? And Aluxer, this is exhausting. Number 8, overconfidence. If you know you're smart, it's easy to fall into the trap of overconfidence. You tend to skip the fundamentals, ignore tutorials, and jump straight into the nitty-gritty. You throw away those IKEA instructions because how hard can it be to put a desk together, especially for a smart person like yourself? When you're smart, you understand how most things work, but you tend to believe everything works the same way, and even if they don't, you surely will figure it out. But sooner or later, you'll find yourself skipping important fundamentals that could have saved you a ton of time. You also tend to think being smart solves all your problems. You try to think it to death rather than just finding solutions outside of your worldview. Number 9, you sometimes have trouble relating to others. If you're a smart person, you'd rather punch yourself in the face than take part in yet another boring conversation. You just can't stand small talk. More so when you're working with others who are not executing at your level, you get frustrated. Teamwork really isn't your strongest suit. And this is a problem in multiple ways. Well, for starters, you've got fewer people to relate with. And secondly, there's a time and place for boring conversations. Not everything has to turn into a TED Talk, okay? Number 10, you lose interest in something after you figure it out. Being smart feels like a curse when you have to do repetitive tasks. You're just not built for it. Once you figure something out, you're done. You don't want to do it anymore. For some people, doing brain-dead repetitive tasks that don't require any mental effort and getting paid for it, it sounds like a dream job. But not so much if you're a smart person. You hate it when you have to do something that doesn't challenge you, or at least require a little bit of brain power. You find it almost offensive to even be asked to do such a thing. But the reality is, no matter what you do in life, some things will be repetitive and boring. There's just no other way around it. This can happen in your relationships too. Once you make a relationship work, sometimes you lose interest, and if you're not careful with it, your smarts will turn into arrogance real quick. We hope you enjoyed this video, Aluxer, and as a thank you for sticking with us until the end, we've got a bonus for you, of course. What smart people don't have a problem with is investing in themselves. They will always seek to better themselves each day and actively invest in their most powerful asset, their mind. We recently launched the Alux app a few months ago, which we believe to be the best self-improvement app on the market. We're extremely proud of what we've achieved, and you guys love it so far. Check out the link in the description or the pinned comment to learn more about it.